I'm called Jacob Siminyu, spokesperson for the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and I also speak for the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control. At the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control, we observe standard operating procedures, and I encourage all of you to ensure you put on your mask, ensure you keep social distance, you sanitize all the time, and make sure that we fight together COVID-19. For purposes of this show, I would like to request that I remove my mask so that I can be very clear. The journey of the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control started way back in 1962, when during the colonial time, immigration was there to issue travel documents and to do a few of those issues that required people entering and that kind of thing. After that, it was moved from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to the Ministry of Internal Affairs, where we are now. We have been moving from location to location. Today we are here as the Directorate and continuing to implement our vision, mission, and the mandate. Our vision is to be a model of excellence in immigration service delivery. So wherever we look at, whatever we do, we want to be excellent in serving the country, and we have been moving in that direction. Our mission is to facilitate the legal and orderly movement of persons to and from Uganda, to regulate residence of immigrants in Uganda, and to enforce national and regional laws. I would like to highlight the mandate of the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control as follows: to facilitate the legal and orderly movement of persons into and out of Uganda, to process and verify Ugandan citizenship, and to regulate the issuance of national passports and other travel documents, as well as facilitating and promoting a conducive immigration environment for investment, and lastly, to enforce national and regional laws. To do that, we have achieved quite a lot, and as we talk now, I can only highlight the indicators of the services that we have been giving. Previously, for example, in issuing travel documents, we used to issue under tents. Right now, we are under a shelter, and this is not the best, but we are able to issue travel documents. And most importantly, we used to issue travel documents like passports. They used to take a month. Now, they take 4 working days for a normal citizen. And then there are applicants who seek to get express. They can get a passport in 2 days, 2 working days, or if there's an emergency, even less. When it comes to work permits, visas, all of them, including passports, we are now issuing them online. So if you are to apply for a passport, for example, you have to go online. You go to www.passports.go.ug, apply, pay using a PRN which is provided after you have submitted the application, and schedule an appointment to come to Internal Affairs. All this we never used to do. What we used to do, we used to have people come to pick forms. That is a crowd already. And of course, not all who would pick the forms would come back. And not all who would pick the form would come back on the same day. So we used to have crowds just around forms, and on this compound would have about 7,000 people. Today, you don't come for forms. You go on the website and you apply. You go to the bank and pay. After paying, you make an appointment. And you come on the day and hour that you have scheduled for appointment. It means that only the people we are expecting on the compound are the ones who come to the compound. We used to issue 500 passports. And even those 500 passports, we used to issue them while struggling, losing files here and there. Today, we do not have a single file getting lost, and we issue 1,500 passports per day. Of course, not everybody picks his passport that same day, and so we had to move the passport issuance center from Kampala to Kyambogo, so that we could have more people picking their passports from Kyambogo. So if you are applying in Kampala, you come to Old Port Bell Road, and after applying, you go to Kyambogo and pick your passport. So that has substantially reduced the crowd, and because of appointments and because we have separated those who are picking passports, we have increased the passport centers. Now we are issuing passports in Mbarara, in Bali, and we have started testing the system for Gulu. So in a week's time, Gulu will be operational, plus Kampala. We also have plans to extend to Arua in the next month or two, as well as Jinja still in the next month or two. That will increase again, it will reduce the distance within which people travel to go and get travel documents around the country. And we have plans to even go beyond that. In the missions, we have earmarked 6 missions. We have deployed staff already. And as soon as we are done with Arua and the Jinja, we will deploy equipment in the missions. The 6 missions are Washington, D.C., Ottawa, Canada, London in UK, Copenhagen, we have Pretoria in South Africa, we have Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. With time, after those, we shall still extend. When it comes to the immigration side, we automated in 2016. This was our first system. And since then, we are issuing all immigration facilities are online. And there are many. We have people applying for visas. These ones apply from wherever they are. And in 3 days, the visa is ready. It has given us an opportunity to interact with people's documents and query whatever we want to know, and then give them authorization to come. They can be personalized at the point of entry, Entebbe or any border, or they can be personalized at the mission abroad. And those who are arriving come with an authorization, and the officers check in the system and issue a visa. Overall, it has given us a lot of ease to interact with records, as opposed to when people would come, you look at the person and choose to issue a visa. So you don't know a lot about the person, but now we have an opportunity. So visa takes 3 days and costs $50. We have students' passes. People who are coming to study here, young people coming to study here, they apply online and we issue them students' passes. Still, someone applies from wherever he is and attaches documents. We process. If there's an issue, we ask the person to attach a necessary document. When we approve, someone can come here for personalization. However, that personalization has been also placed at different regional offices. Mbarara is one of them, Bali is one of them, Jinja, Gulu, and other regions, Arua and the rest. So foreigners don't have to move all the way to come here. You can complete your application for work permit in the region. If you are in Mbarara, you apply, we approve, you pay, you go to Mbarara for personalization, you never come to Kampala. So that indicates that service delivery has across the board improved. The same, work permits, we use the same system. Certificates of residence, we use the same system. People who have come to stay here with their husbands, or young people who have come to stay with their parents when they are working here, we issue them with dependent passes. And those are also issued online. And we also have citizenship. Our people who want, there are Ugandans who went outside and got citizenship of other countries. According to our law, once a person gets citizenship of another country without notification of the Republic of Uganda, that person loses citizenship. Now they are able to apply and regain their citizenship by either applying for dual citizenship or just applying to regain their citizenship if they are not interested in the other citizenship anymore. So we have those facilities online, and the number of applications has tremendously increased or even tripled. It has also helped us to collect revenue consultatively in conjunction with URA. So when you pay, when you apply for our services, we invoice you. When we invoice you, the invoice comes from URA. And the payment goes direct to URA. Even if you pay in the bank uses your URA system. So that we are collecting, right now we are collecting much more than we were collecting earlier. And that system also helps us on processing foreigners whose permits were rejected, and so that we process them, they appeal through all other stages. We have a department which is responsible for inspection, which people finding out spot checks and finding out whether people are actually living in the country legally. So it has also done a great job because the system helps them to identify which visas are expiring, which ones have expired, who is appealing, which permit is, who has a permit, which organization has how many permits, and that kind of thing. So it's good for us. So overall, I think e-services have improved our performance, and we are getting a lot of compliments from the public, those who are happy about the services that we are offering. We have also automated the borders, about 17 borders, and we have equipped 16 missions abroad with visa equipment, and someone can be personalized from the missions abroad. We have built some borders. We used to be majorly in Manyatas, in the uniports, but now we have done a bit of construction of those borders, but we still have a challenge of the porous borders. As you know, the personnel are not, we're about 600, and we are not enough to cover every inch of this country. So during COVID, we managed to identify 336 porous points, and an assessment is going on how we can earmark a few for gazetting, but also to strengthen the border patrol unit. We have started a small unit of border patrol which we hope to strengthen so that we work with other stakeholders like we were doing during COVID to ensure that all the points are patrolled. So we have border patrols going on, but with the assistance of Uganda Police and Uganda People's Defense Forces. Of course, we don't have a home, and we're hoping that in the near future we will have a home. But to do all this, we need budget. However, we have partners who have been with us all along. The justice law and the government of Uganda has been very useful to ensure that we move this journey of automation from where we were losing files every day, losing files every minute, or even hiding them. But now we can no longer afford to hide a file. We are able to move smoothly, and these now are stories of the past. And the government of Uganda has stood with us all along. The justice, law and order sector has been on our side, helping us to do constructions, helping us do a lot of improvements, managing our records, and many activities. Really, we've worked with the justice, law and order sector, helping in putting up documents that help in accountability and transparency. We have the IOM. IOM and the government of Japan have supported our border journey. They've given us vehicles. They've built for us an immigration training academy in Nakasongola, which is now helping us to train our officers regularly, as opposed to looking for funds, looking for this, doing this training individuals. Now we train large groups. Before I conclude, I would like to highlight the types of passports that we have. We have the East African passport. This passport came up as a consensus of the heads of state of the EAC for us to use one travel document. So it's also called, it's called the East African passport, but it's also the Ugandan national passport. This passport replaced the Ugandan national passport, and it replaced the old East African passport, which was only taking us within the region. It is now international, and it's the only document that we have. It comes in threes. We have the red, which is diplomatic. We have the green, which is service. Previously, we used to call it official, but for purposes of harmony, it's now called the service passport. And we have the light sky blue, which is the ordinary passport. These passports are paid for different amounts. The diplomatic is at 500,000. The official, which is service passport, is at 400,000, and the ordinary is 250,000. And when we are providing a service, you can choose to have a normal service, which takes 4 days. You pay 250 for the ordinary passport. Or you can choose to have express, where you pay an additional 150,000 and get your passport in 2 days or even less. For those who apply for service and diplomatic passports, you do not need to request for express. Express is already incorporated in, and you will be able to get your passport in 2 days. This passport we started issuing it in 2018, December, and we had been given 2 years to stop using the old machine-readable passport, because this one is called an e-passport. The e-passport has a chip in it, and in that chip we put a little more information than meets the eye, than is on the machine-readable zone and on the biodata page. So it increases the security. We put there biometrics. If you carry it and you're not the owner, you get to a border, they will be able to establish, because the chip will produce the correct person, and no one can tamper with that chip. If you try, you may end up destroying it. There are just two alternatives. You destroy it, or if you fail, they will catch you. So this has made our travel documents more secure, and Ugandans are now able to get the visas more easily than we used to do. So they gave us 2 years, and those 2 years elapsed on 31st January 2021. However, we made another request following a public concern that COVID-19 had affected us in issuing travel documents. So we requested, and the new deadline is 4th April 2022. This means that if you intend to travel, you should be changing your passport now. Apply for renewal and we'll give you a new passport. If you don't have a passport and you need to travel, apply for the travel document now and we process it. As you know, the queue might be a little long because we are not serving the full scale. We are in COVID-19 and we can issue up to 1,000 passports only. And we have, like I said before, for anyone to come and access the services, you need to have an appointment. This is very important, and I would like to remind you that we are not compromising on appointments. Make sure you come at your time. The other thing that I would like to talk about is that if anyone is applying for Ugandan visas, make sure you're on the right site. The right site is www.visas.immigration.go.ug. We have other services that claim to offer immigration services, and some of them end up fleecing our clients. So when you go to a site, make sure you see the amount that is involved. If it's more than $50, then just know that you are on the wrong site, because some of them charge 100, others 140, others 120, others 200. So please don't be fleeced. Go on the right site, which is www.visas.immigration.go.ug. I would also like to encourage the Ugandans to make use of the regions. We have noticed that whereas we opened the regions, the number of people making up appointments for Kampala is still high and the queue is long, while those in the regions are not as many. We are not yet hitting the 100 that we had speculated we would be hitting during COVID-19 in Mbale and Mbarara. So we call upon the public to make use of those centers. If you are in the west, use Mbarara. If you are in the east, use Mbale. And those who are in the north, you are free to use Gulu. And those who are in northeast, when we start Rua, use it. Those who are in the southeast, Jinja will be there. And other cities will find resources to establish the centers there. But when we establish them there, make sure you make full use of them. Otherwise, we will be discouraged to bring services further nearer to you. I would like to thank everybody who has been part of our journey, the immigration journey. It has been difficult, but right now it's very exciting to talk about immigration because service delivery has tremendously improved. Finally, I would like to thank the Parliament of Uganda. You have always supported us in allocating resources, and please give us more. We shall give you more surprises. I would also like to thank His Excellency the President. He has supported us, especially on so many projects, and we have moved a long way to reach where we are because of his support. And the UBC for thinking about the Ministry of Internal Affairs and the Directorate of Citizenship and Immigration Control and hosting me on this program to create awareness to the public. I thank you.